Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I'm going to share a set of 4 cards as well as some matching envelopes that have envelope liners in them using the brand new October 2017 Simon Says Stamp card kit Brush Stroke Messages. This set card kit includes an amazing set of stamps called Brush Stroke messages, and it's beautiful. I love these kind of stamp sets. There's so many things you can do with it. Today I'm mostly going to concentrate on the greetings, and I'm going to be using the gorgeous 6x6 papers from My Mind's Eye from the Blush collection. They have this gorgeous rose gold metallic, some foiling all over them. I chose a bunch of papers from this to use, and then I'm also going to be die cutting these envelope liners using the Simon Says Stamp envelope liners dies. And this creates gorgeous liners so that when you open up the envelope, you're going to see these beautiful liners that coordinate with the cards. So I had a little bit of a trick getting this one in here, so I'm going to show you how I fixed that problem for the second one. I shouldn't probably have put adhesive on the bottom portion, the part that goes inside the card, because it was really sticking. I ended up folding back that top flap of the envelope, lining it up, taking the envelope to the top part of that. Then I'm going to flip it over carefully and tuck it inside these envelopes. Now this kit contains 2 of the envelopes, and if you have seen any of my videos, any of my cards, you probably noticed that I photograph many with envelopes. These are all from Simon Says Stamp. The 2 envelopes included in the card kit are metallic cream envelopes, and they are stunning. So here's the die. I wanted to show a good look at one of them all put together, the die I'm using, and then the other one. So I've tucked in the envelope insert or liner insert. I am going to fold it down then, put adhesive on that, fold my flap, and that worked so much better. So just a little FYI, do it the second way, not the first way that I showed you. So once my envelope liners are done, and they really didn't necessarily inspire these cards, these papers from the collection inspired these, but when I saw that floral and the polka dot, I just thought they would be incredible as liners since the kit does contain envelopes and would really make a statement. For my card bases, I am going to trim down several of the pattern papers from the My Mind's Eye Blush papers included in the kit to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. This is going to give me a nice 1/8 inch border all the way around when I attach them to my card bases. I purposely chose pattern papers from the kit that had that rose gold foiling on them. They're all going to be different, which is absolutely fine. They're all going to have different greetings, but what they have in common is they all kind of have brush stroke looks to them, the rose gold foiling to them, and they definitely all go together. In the case of this set of cards, there's not a lot of background work you have to do. I have had several YouTube viewers and blog readers comment that they would love to see more cards with pattern papers. Pattern papers, they feel like maybe aren't being used as much on cards. When I opened up this card kit, I knew immediately that the focal point would be these incredible pattern papers. They are gorgeous. There's no extra work needed. You don't actually have to paint anything yourself. They go together really fast, and you have amazing, gorgeous cards in no time. This whole set of cards was very easy to create. Once I have my 4 backgrounds, I am going to go ahead and do my stamping. This is the only thing that was very time consuming on this whole set of cards, and it really didn't take that long, and that is doing 2-tone stamping and embossing. This first card is the only one that I am not going to do two-tone, and that is only because the stamping is all on the navy part of this background, and I felt like navy embossing powder would get lost. White embossing powder didn't really match the cream look, and I didn't want to pull in any other colors. So I simply stuck with rose gold embossing powder. This is the Lawn Fawn rose gold embossing powder. I tried and tried in vain to find my Simon Says Stamp rose gold embossing powder and couldn't find it anywhere. I have no idea where it went to. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I mentioned that the Office Gremlins must have taken off with it because it is missing. However, Lawn Fawn has come out with a rose gold embossing powder, and I am so glad because I felt these cards really needed some rose gold love. And it looks incredible with the rose gold foiling on these. Like I mentioned, this card that I did first is the only one that does not feature two-tone stamping, and it is the only card that does not feature the stamped heart from the Brushstroke Messages stamp set. It is going to feature the beautiful die-cut flower, which I'll talk about in a little bit. The rest of my cards are all going to have two-tone stamping or two-tone embossing, meaning part of the greeting and the heart image are going to be stamped and embossed in one color, either the Lawn Fawn rose gold embossing powder, and the other is going to be stamped and embossed with the beautiful new navy embossing powder from Simon Says Stamp. This is a stunning color of embossing powder. I really, really love it. It looks fantastic with these pattern papers. It's going to look fantastic with so many different things. It's an awesome option if you love embossing powders like I do. This is a fantastic addition to your collection. So for my first one here, where it kind of has the visual triangle of brush strokes, and that was some creative cutting on my part. I'm going to kind of not center it, it's just right of center on my background. I am stamping one of the phrases, embossing it with the navy embossing powder, and then I'm going to take the happy birthday greeting and mask off parts of this because I want the word birthday to be in navy and the word happy to be in rose gold. Just something a little different. I kind of messed around with all of these and did something a little different on all of them. The greetings in the stamp set in this month's kit are incredible. They will go with so many different things. They would look fantastic layered over the brush stroke stamp images. I will be sharing more cards showing lots of different ways you can use those a little bit later this month. And so just fantastic. You can use them with the images, you can use them without, you can use them on all kinds of different cards. And I like that they're different kinds of greetings. There's thank you and birthday and you are loved, you know, just different encouraging type of greetings. I'm using Post-it tape to mask off part of this, ink it up, remove my mask. I went ahead and put another one back on. I was a little bit afraid that some Versamark might remain. And then stamped the word happy. Before I add my rose gold embossing powder, I will stamp the little heart that goes underneath. I like that the heart is a brush stroke. It really matches the whole look and feel of this stamp set. Make sure that's right there in that upper corner so it lines up perfect. Sprinkle on a little rose gold embossing powder. You can definitely tell this is rose gold from that beautiful color. Tap off my excess and then heat emboss that. These cards don't need a lot of embellishing. You could definitely go there if you want to. I'm going to keep mine pretty minimum with just a few rose gold sequins. I think Nouveau crystal drops in colors that match the backgrounds would be beautiful. Nothing at all. Just keep them very, very simple. They would be very easy to mail that way, and they are still stunning with or without any additional embellishing. Here is my next card, and I think this might be my favorite one. I can't decide. I really like them all, but I loved this background with it goes from kind of the ivory to pink to rose gold to navy. I like that, just how those stripes are. I stamped my first phrase and embossed it with rose gold embossing powder. Then I'm going to stamp thank you underneath this with navy embossing powder. And then I'm going to stamp the heart underneath that and emboss that with rose gold embossing powder. So it's just a little process. I did, after each addition of embossing powder, I didn't want any of the navy to accidentally get into the rose gold, if that makes sense. So I stamped the rose gold phrase first and heat embossed it. I stamped the thank you next, heat embossed that with the navy embossing powder, and I'll finish with the heart with rose gold embossing powder. That way I don't have to worry. If I hadn't heat embossed this, little flecks of another one of the colors could have migrated into the other areas, and I think that would take away from the overall look. This greeting very much is centered in the card. The only thing I did, I think it's maybe just a little up from center. From each side it's pretty centered. I didn't want that stripe from the pink going through any of the words, so I made sure that those two lines where it says to say and then your, it straddled that, if that makes sense, so that it wasn't going through the middle of any word. This is by far the most simple design, but I think it's really striking this way. I love that rose gold foiling that looks like brush strokes coming in from the top. I think it would be just as cool coming in from the bottom if you wanted to. Almost looks like buildings if you did it that way, like city size skyscrapers. I'm stamping thank you kind of over there on the right side of the card, shifted right underneath those brush strokes, stamped and embossed that with the navy embossing powder. We'll stamp the little heart next to it and emboss that with rose gold embossing powder. Once I have that embossed, that's going to take care of the stamping and embossing. Very minimal embellishment for these cards. It's all brush strokes and greetings, which is a really striking look. Now, using some of the ivory Simon Says Stamp cardstock from the kit, I have cut it in half lengthwise to create top fold cards. Plus, I had to use an additional sheet of cardstock from my own collection. Keep in mind, in your kit, you're getting one piece of cardstock. I went ahead and grabbed another one so I could make 4 cards all the same. If you wanted to do the same look and you only have this one sheet of cardstock, cut it into 4 pieces and mat the foiled panel on top of it, and then you can attach it to any card base that you want to. I went ahead and popped all of these foiled panels up on the card bases using foam adhesive. With simple cards like this, I often like to do this. It gives them a little bit of dimension and added interest. So super pretty. So here are my 4 designs, beautiful as is, or you could go ahead and do what I'm doing here and add some sequins. Now, I went ahead and used glossy accents. You're getting Ranger Multi-Matte Medium in the kit, which you could use just as easily. I don't know why I forgot to use it. I think it rolled a little bit under something on my desk, and I didn't see it. I actually prefer the Ranger Multi-Matte Medium because it dries matte and not shiny like glossy accents. So keep that in mind. If you want to do something similar, really easy to do. On the last card, I used that die cut flower from the kit to embellish underneath the greeting. Thanks for joining me today for these 4 clean and simple cards featuring the Simon Says Stamp October 2017 card kit brushstroke messages. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says Stamp that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.